What's up, everybody? This is Talkative Carl back again for another Christmas movie spoiler review. I want to make sure I get this done. Uh, some reviews done tonight because Thursday I will be doing the live stream of the Video Game Awards, which should be coming up at least my time, Central Time, around 6 p.m. So if you inclined to, you want to watch along, please stop by, follow me, twitch.tv/talkativecarl. I had to swap back to my previous mic. This is still good, but I think my voice is pretty much clear as you can actually, the volume is much better. Probably have to get a refund the brand new mic, which I got on Cyber Monday, so it wasn't like crazy expensive, but just like, okay, this is not working as much as cool as it looks. It's just like, I couldn't get like the volume to where I need to be so it can offer some proper clarity. And I got this mic at like a music shop, which is probably ideal. The new one I just recently got, I got off of Amazon, and I remember when the clerks at the musical guitar shop or musical shop, years back mentioned that it's probably not ideal to get certain things off of Amazon unless you know exactly what you're looking for. Otherwise, go to a shop like that in order to get certain equipment that will do the job at like a, not that Amazon probably at crazy prices, but like you get like a better stuff, and you can talk with people who know their equipment, and so that way you don't feel like you not necessarily got cheated, but you can guarantee walking out with some decent stuff. Anywho, I just feel like, I'm sorry going for a tangent. I started bringing it up in case you wonder, like, oh, like I haven't seen like this microphone in my in my face in a while. Anyway, it's only been like a couple of videos. It's not too much of like a big deal. It's like you still be able to hear me, but this is still like better. Anyway, the next movie review for the Christmas movie review month is the 1998 movie Jack Frost, starring one of my favorite actors, Michael Keaton, directed by Troy Miller. And Michael Keaton plays an actual guy named Jack Frost. Kelly Preston plays Gabby Frost. We got the wife, Joseph Cross, as Charlie Frost, the son. Mark Addy as Jack's friend Mac MacArthur. We got Taylor Hanley as Roy Buck, the school bully to Charlie. There's also other characters, but those are the primary ones we see most often. Anyway, Jack is part of this band actually called the Jack Frost Band. Not very clever. And as I mentioned in like a previous review, I forgot which one, but I was mentioning about how back in the 90s into the early 2000s, we was in that kind of era where those typical family type of comedy drama type of things, where the parent is too busy and he's kind of neglectful of the kid and things like that. This is one of those kind of things, but he's a loving father. I like Michael Keaton. He's a great actor. He's like very charming in this, and all the actors are doing pretty decent here. It's not like there's not like a bad acting. But he comes home and he helps his son build a snowman. You know, you can see, you know, spend time with his wife. Then he gives Charlie, because he it didn't show up for I'm kind of skipping ahead, but he gives Charlie this harmonica that he says is magical, that, you know, no matter where he is, if he plays it, he'll hear it. And Charlie asks, is his dad gonna go see his hockey game? Although his father has a gig that day, but he promises he'll be there like 4 in the afternoon when the game starts. Although while the band is working on a new album, he loses track of time, misses it, and of course, you know, the mom is upset, kid's depressed, so he apologizes, and to make up for it, he says, like, okay, look, you know, I'm gonna set all that work stuff aside. I'm not, I'm all about you guys. We'll spend Christmas in our cabin up in the mountains. Don't know how they, you know, like, is he that much of a big deal as a musician? Sure, they might be playing, like, you know, they got recording studio time, and they playing at like nightclubs, sure, but are they like, I don't know, are they on the same level as, like, you know, like Kiss or something? Like, like, you know, but you know what I mean. To afford like a big ass house, sure, she works at like the bank and everything like that, but it's like, man, it's like a big house for 3 people, and it's not like it's like the Home Alone house or anything like that, but still. And it's like, you know, what is he raking in terms of finances? He seems like he does well, but it makes it seem like, man, he's, you know, should be hunted up by paparazzi to a certain extent. But clearly they ain't make it like that, because the next day, while they was literally packing up, getting everything ready to go out to the cabin to spend the the rest of Christmas there, you know, they wouldn't have like where's all the presents and stuff like that. You're gonna be there for Christmas, you might as well have like the presents, bring them along so you can open up there. But they get a call, and it turns out that there's this producer who listened to our songs and heard them play in one of the lounges, and wanted to invite them to his place to hear them play, you know, like, could just request them sending you a sample rather than chugging all the way through the mountain area to see you in person, to play in front of you. And it's around pretty close to Christmas. Very like a weird thing to do or request. Like you ain't got no family to see, and like they ain't got no family to see. This is, you know, very short notice. You couldn't wait until after Christmas. This is bizarre kind of manufactured conflict that probably didn't really need to be there. But while, you know, this is like a big deal. He's been waiting for like a call like this for a minute, and of course the family is happy for them, but they, you know, that quickly soured once they realize, oh my god, hey, they want to see us right away, but, you know, while kudos to the wife, like, you know, wife is like, okay, this is something my husband is looking forward to. let's figure this out. She's not upset. She's not screaming, and she's not disappointed or anything like that. She knows how important this is to him, so she doesn't want to neglect that or overlook that. But Charlie realizing, like, once again he's breaking his promises, so I'm handing back his harmonica and realize, like, I'm just gonna resign to the fact that I can't count on you, kind of thing, which is disappointing. And of course he's like 11, or he says he's 12 years old in this, and it's like, okay, well, he would have been 11 at this time. There will be like a year time skip, but he's young enough to not understand, like, well, he understand, but he just still, like, he's old enough to know that his parents got a life outside of him. He's not like a little toddler anymore that constantly needs their attention. But at the same time, he's like, look, I really want to spend time with my family, and you keep dipping off every time I need you. And the father would later understand, like, yeah, I would be mad too. It was like, so he goes off with his buddies, but then halfway through, and the friends, it's like, halfway through he comes to the realization, look, what I'm doing, I got a family at home, they need me, let's turn around. The guy, if he really wants us, he'll contact us like after the holidays, so we're not gonna. And of course he's thinking he's gonna disappoint his bandmates, but they all like, yeah, like, let's get out of here. We just doing it because, like, you thought it was gonna be like a important, you thought it was gonna be like an important big deal, that's why we came here. But it's like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, clearly you all are in agreement, y'all didn't want to like go this close to Christmas to play in front of a guy who could have just requested a sample to listen, or wait until after the Christmas holiday to go request us to see him. You could have just said something to him before y'all took off. Y'all went this long drive. Y'all didn't. Y'all not even halfway there yet when he has his epiphany, and then Mac says, borrow my car to go up to see your family. We'll make our way back, because they taking 2 cars. While y'all all can just go back around together. And they kind of set this up earlier in the film about before they while they was packing up to go to the cabin initially, there was a news report mentioning about a snowstorm coming in. Jack gets caught up in that, gets in an accident, dies. So a year later, Charlie is in a deep depression because he, despite him being upset with his father, he still idolizes him and disappointed that he never got to do certain things with him that he was looking forward to, like learning this hockey trick shot move called the J shot that he only got like a taste of before his father left. And so he builds up a snowman, and clearly because he always built a snowman with his father, so he built one to look like his father, even put on his father's hat and scarf. And he like, kudos to the puppeteer department where they actually put in, because how many snowmen do you see with eyebrows? So of course they put in like certain eyebrows to mimic Michael Keaton's iconic like eyebrow look. And so later that night, Charlie plays his harmonica. Then the spirit of Jack possesses the snowman, and so Charlie sees this. He's freaked out, and of course Jack is freaked out, realizing that he's like a living snowman at this point. But the next day, after Charlie threatens to, like, use a hair dryer to melt him, he freaks out. It's like, no, like, you can't be my father. He runs away, but then gets, jumped by a bunch of bullies, threatening to throw snowballs at him, until Jack shows up and starts, like, cartoonishly lobbing a bunch of snowballs at these kids. Father and son both went on this sled and hightail it out of here, losing all these kids along the way. And Charlie's just like, relieved that he got his father back. And then they starting to spend more time with each other that, Jack and Charlie never really got the chance to do when he was alive. I mean, like, I imagine when Charlie was a lot younger, he spent like a significant amount of time. This is probably just a little bit more of a recent trait that's been going on with him neglecting certain things while he's focusing on his musical career. Of course, he's keeping it a secret from everybody. It's only these two, because, like, nobody gonna, people who bumps into, like, Charlie's hockey coach bumps into Jack one night and freaks out. And of course, he goes on news and nobody believes him. They think he's freaking bonkers. Why wouldn't they think that? And of course, the mom is trying to, obviously noticing Charlie has been acting funny, thinking that, he hasn't time to process his father's death. He quits the hockey team. He's kind of like been reclusive for the most part, just kind of, shut himself off. The Mac, who's been like a family friend, starting to help around the house. It's just nice to have like she thinks it's good to have like some kind of male figure in the house, especially when she feels like Charlie needs somebody to talk to that she as the mom can't do. But Charlie started to like, okay, me and my father, like, okay, can you his father's like, okay, I'm gonna teach you the J shot. And like, things are going well, they're having a good time, like, hey, like, teaching you, so you're gonna get back, you gotta get back on that horse, man. Like, don't let my death cause you to turn inwards. Don't shut yourself off because of me. Get back on the horse. I want you to get back into hockey. You love hockey, and like, if you really wanted to give up hockey, you wouldn't still have that Wayne Gretzky poster in your room still. And then he's kind of like eventually leaning a little bit, kind of pushed a little bit too hard, where he points out to Charlie that, of course, he wasn't very receptive either. He points out to Charlie like, hey, because he notices earlier that the sink was like still leaking, even though he promised in his life that he was going to eventually fix it. And the look on his face, and of course some of the CGI is terrible in this. Looking back on it, does not hold up. But when it's practical, I liked it a little bit more. And the look on his face, the despair on his face, that like, oh my God, I promised my wife that I was always going to fix that, and now can never do that. But he eventually goes in one day and fixes that sink, because he needs to, like, he's acknowledging the fact that I keep breaking my promises, and I gotta, while I'm here, I'm going to set certain things right with my family. So he explains to Charlie, like, look, your mom, now that I'm gone, like, your mom's gonna need you, so that means you're gonna have to be the man of the house. uh you gotta get back to your schoolwork. You got get back on the team. You gotta help your mom. And of course, Charlie is like, yo, I'm just 12. Like, y'all, you putting too much on me, man. And he storms off, and it's like, okay, you did probably lean in too much, because, like, he's a 12-year-old kid, and you asked him to grow up faster than granted, yeah, it was situations like this is tough on a kid when losing a parent. That means more often than not, especially when it comes to a father, they got when it comes to being like the single son, they're gonna have to step up to be the man in the house to handle certain things to lighten the mom's load. But of course, that would be like a heavy burden to weigh on a kid, a 12-year-old kid who hasn't even really hit puberty just yet. But like hitting on that, like, reality is kind of much. But one day, the mom suggested that he goes hang out with Mac, who explains to Charlie that his father was like a huge inspiration to him, and he gives the same advice that the father, because he mentioned about advice he gave to him that he also gave to Charlie about not treating things that you love like as work, because he mentioned earlier about how, like, I didn't want to, how Jack did not want to grow up doing something he did not like. He loved music, he especially loved playing the harmonica, so that's what he wanted to do. And Charlie asked Mac, like, do you think my father would want me to be a musician like him? He points out, like, your father would love for you to do whatever it is that made you happy. Because you can see how, like, Jack's death not just affected the family, it also affected Mac too, because I guess they're close friends. Don't know about the other bandmates. Kind of, I guess that would have been too much in this one short movie. But Mac, being the closest friend, gave up music, and just like how so easily Charlie gave up hockey, it is so intrinsically tied to Jack, because Jack was the leader. So he started working at the department store, not department store, crap, like the like an office supply store. It's kind of like crap. What do you call those stores? Like, I'm pretty sure it's like office supply or something like that, where you pick up, like, certain tools and nuts and bolts and screwdrivers and like all that kind of stuff. He starts working at like a place like that. It's kind of like a mini Home Depot, I guess. So Jack, pretty much, Jack's words of advice kind of got and kind of sunk in, and he patched things up with his old teammates, saying he wants to get back into the back on the team. Even though it's been a year, he just hops right back in, despite not knowing the drills and a tournament coming up that he just gonna be on. He promised Charlie that he's gonna be there this time, and nothing holding him back. He has no excuse. Although at this point in time, the weather is not as cold anymore, but he's starting to melt a little bit. But he's not gonna let that deter him. So he makes his way to the gymnasium so he can watch on the, not directly on the sidelines, but like close by so he can watch his son play. And he used the J shot to win the big game, because of course it has to be like, because that's like a MacGuffin type of thing. Like, you show us this particular skill, it has to make a big play later on in the film. It has to. So after the game is won, Charlie runs up to his father, and like, of course, he's very proud. Like, oh my God, like, you was outstanding, kid. But then he's starting to pass out a little bit because, like, oh my God, you're melting, Dad. And so Charlie figures, okay, we're gonna take him to the mountain cabin that we owned. Don't know how you own that. It's like, you know, how much money are y'all really making to have like a cabin out in like the mountains, unless it's like a timeshare thing that you share with other people. But anyway, his mom, he finally confesses to his mom that, you know, his father's the snowman. That's why he acting weird around it. But she doesn't believe him. And so he convinces his bully, who now is his friend, after the whole spiel about losing his father, even though that should have been common knowledge a whole year ago. It should have been more common knowledge. And yeah, he still bully him, but now it's like a complete 180 when he sees like the snowman talk for real, and he acknowledges like, yeah, like I lost my dad too, it sucks. And it's like, dude, it's been a year. How you not know his father died and you still was bullying him? I know he was like a ignorant teenager, but still, like, there's still, you know, a level of empathy and understanding. Like, unless you're a complete sociopath. So they sting him on this truck. So Charlie and Jack ends up at the cabin, and Charlie falls asleep, and then Jack calls up the house and tells what's her name, Gabby, to come meet up at the cabin. She makes it up there. Don't know why she didn't bring Mac along, but Charlie and Jack is explaining to Charlie like he has to go. Apparently he's only there until Christmas, because that's what essentially what Charlie was wishing for, that you can spend the Christmas with his dad that he never got the chance to a year ago. And here's the thing I want to put in really quick. What were the rules when it comes to this harmonica? Yeah, he said like he bought this harmonica the day of his son's birth across the street from the hospital. But who was this person who sold this harmonica? Was it some kind of, you know, magical Romani woman who gave him like what he thought was kind of BS, like this is a magical harmonica, you know, or something like that? It's like, where is this, you know, what was the rules to this? How did this all occur? That's I kind of wish there's some level of explanation to this. It just kind of sort of just happened because the story needed to. But then Charlie doesn't want him to leave, but you know, he explains to him like, you know, like I'll always be with you. Like you carry someone in your heart, they're never gone. And then Gabby shows up, and now the spell dissipates, and you see Jack in his true form, but ethereal. And he tells him he loves him. He had a great time spending with Charlie. And then he sings this little song to his wife, like, you know, she always asks him to, because that's, I guess, how they fell in love. She listened to one of his music back in the day. Then he turns into like to snow, and then carries the wind carries him off to the afterlife. So essentially, God allow this or something. Like, you know, what are the rules? But then time went on a little bit. You know, Charlie is friends with a bully, former bully, and the other hockey teammates practicing in front of the house while Mac appears to have it's never clear, but it's kind of insinuated that he and Gabby got close. I guess, you know, given the fact that he's been like a good friend and of the family and pseudo father figure to Charlie this whole entire time, I think Jack would probably approve of this. You know, no other best man that he would trust to look after his wife and son. And the movie ends. I mean, I love the cinematography because, like, at least when you're looking around this Colorado town and like the snow and everything like that, it looks crisp. It looks like a crisp, cool snow, and you crisp mountain air. And it's like you love the environment here. The CGI is, you know, of the snowman is crap unless it's practical. Then I liked it a little bit more. I wish there was a little bit more explanation about this magical harmonica. Where did that come from? And like the family is sweet as and you can, like, you know, a lot of people will probably been in the kind of situation of losing a parent at a very young age and have to be forced to grow up, but also understanding that there is like a process of grieving when it comes to kids, and it's a little harder on them because they probably should have gone to get some therapy or something like that to navigate them through the grieving process, because he kind of become like a recluse in a way, which is understandable. So everybody played their parts, fine. I think Mac is probably the only friend that was, pretty decent, because where's all the other bandmates, but yeah, I mean, back in the day, it didn't do so hot in the box office. It's like they barely made its money back. It was like they had like a budget between $40 to $85 million and came out at 34 million. So it didn't do so well. I remember seeing the trailer of this movie as a kid, and this is not too long after Batman Returns, which, I mean, like, Michael Keaton's always been on the map, but playing Batman really shot him really high up. And so doing something like this seems like, wow. Like, some might argue like, wow, that's kind of a backslide. Not that, he hasn't been in great stuff since then, but it just the premise, some might argue, seems kind of bland at best, which I can see their point. Not like it's not a terrible film. It's a fun family film to show your kids, because I remember the trailer. It seems fun, and I was like, I didn't go to the theater to see it. I got the movie from Blockbuster. Dated myself here, but I remember watching this and enjoying it because I like Michael Keaton. So it's fun to revisit this movie because I haven't seen this in years, but it was fun to revisit it. But anyway, that was Jack Frost. Fun to watch with your in front of the kids, nice wholesome family film. And when it comes to Christmas time, that's what you like to watch, nice wholesome family films centered around Christmas. I will see you guys in a few minutes. I have a Hallmark or Lifetime Christmas movie to review for you guys, so stay tuned for that. And I will see if I can pop in. Well, we'll see, because I don't know if I can squeeze in. It's been like a long day, and I do want to play the new Overwatch character, Mauga, who looks like Maui from Moana, but that's probably wait till tomorrow. Then I guess I'll wait till then to get back into Diablo 4. But anyway, I will see you all soon. Take care, like and subscribe, share this with your friends, and yeah, and tomorrow look forward to some look to my live stream of the Video Game Awards. But anyway, I'll see y'all soon. Peace.